Good morning and welcome back to another Philosophical Wednesday. I'm with my friend Big Red. He's an LPN and he's been working as one for about 5 years. I hope you all enjoy. And if you haven't yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I release new content every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Every Monday is a Manliness Monday, where I go over things like beard care, gun safety, camping, and just general good life advice. Every Wednesday is a philosophical question, where I split hairs for a while and hope that you gain something out of it. And every Friday is a project video, where I cover things like bottle stoppers, beard beads, furniture, and even the camera stand that I'm shooting on right now. So hit that subscribe button and join me. Let's get to it, guys. Is the cultural trend of individualism and the rejection of collectivism a beneficial or detrimental trend?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I think when you break this down, they're trying to get you to argue for the merits of communism versus the merits of capitalism.
It's really what it sounds like, to tell you the truth.
There are some things that I believe should be a collective effort.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason you organize into a tribe, into a city, into a state, into a country.
Right.
And there are definitely benefits to that, but there's also limits to those benefits as well. You know, what's good for the goose is not necessarily good for the gander. So there is no easy way to answer that, because it all comes down to what's your point of view on communism and capitalism. How much self-reliance do you want to have, or self-determination do you want to have?
Even if you don't want to label it as capitalism and communism.
Yeah, because I know those are economic ideologies, and this isn't
Right.
necessarily.
If you just want to think of it as self versus group. You know, at one point, does looking out for yourself become a detrimental ideal to the group? And if the group is in a depressed state, you know, whereas not they're running around screaming wah, but, you know, depressed as in they aren't functioning appropriately or to their peak efficiency, where is it, or what's the line of, you know, you thinking of yourself, the detriment to them, you know?
Well, even if they're operating at peak efficiency for the group doesn't mean good for you.
Right. Okay, sorry. That was definitely a bad example.
Yeah, it was.
You know what I meant by it, though.
I know, but I do like to split hairs. I do like to play devil's advocate.
Fair enough. Can't say I don't. So.
And this is kind of what this requires.
True. The base, really what you break that down to is, which is more important, you or everybody else?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, are you going to take the myopic view, you know, I'm out for me, I need to think of myself and, you know, make myself the forefront of my thoughts and my actions and put my energy into making myself better, or even just making things better for myself? Or do you think of it in more of a worldview, whereas I make myself to operate at a point where it's good for me and good for the group?
Mm-hmm.
And who is the group that I'm trying to benefit?
You also have to realize that they're not necessarily mutually exclusive either.
No, they're not. They're commingled left, right, and center.
Yeah, if, let's say everyone in Group A is completely individualistic, but they're all operating amazingly efficiently.
Right.
If you look at them as a group, there's a good chance that the whole group will be in a very good standing.
But that's a certain aspect. If you look at it, whereas they are operating interpersonally, or integrated in an integrated fashion, are they operating at their peak or the most effective that they can?
And who's to determine what the most effective is?
Right. It's like big business. You know, the VP and all the senior execs and everything can do nothing but make sure that they get the best deals, they close the best deals, they make the most money. Well, at the end of the day, that makes money for the company too.
Yeah, but is that making the most money for the company?
And
because then they have being higher in the company, they usually have a higher take.
Right.
Now, if, a guy 3 departments lower closed the same deal at the same price, he'd have a lower take, the company would make more money.
True.
And I think that's the basis of individualism versus collectivism.
Honestly, though, if we're looking at the newest generation coming up, and even a lot of millennials, our generation, I think there's a lot of self in that they have their self in the forefront. I don't know, I can't tell you how many times I've seen people pulled over on the road and everybody's just driving by. Now, don't get me wrong, that's everybody. But I'll be the one that pulls over, and I don't really have a great way to finish that example, but it makes you think that how many people just decide, oh, they're fine, and just kept going. And I feel like the newer generations unfortunately have that mindset that it's not my problem, or I don't have to worry about it, or somebody else will worry about it.
I hear that a lot, but in my personal experiences, a lot of people our age and even younger are a lot more altruistic than the broad strokes tend to paint. You only hear about the people who scream, me, 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 me. The greasy wheel is the one that gets greased. The squeaky wheel gets greased. You don't hear about the selfless people.
Well, you don't hear about the people that own guns that defend themselves, their family, by using it responsibly.
Yeah.
And, you only hear about the people that go out and murder everybody with their guns.
Yes.
You don't hear about the, 400 million or 40 million?
225 million, 225,000 times per year.
That happens.
A gun is used responsibly.
Exactly. Or used, in a way that may be violent, but was for the right reasons, Then again, you get into the whole media-controlled government kind of thing. And
yeah, but it's what is talked about. Now, our generation really, by and large, based on my experience, is very altruistic. I've had a lot of people younger than me come up and ask me, do you need help? Do you need this? Do you need that?
Department stores don't count.
No, they don't. Just the fact that you were willing to come over here and help me make money on this show, and you're far from the only person. There's a relationship of friends, but still, you're coming out, you're taking time out of your day, your relaxation time, and going through this with me.
It's true. I don't know,
I've met, even camping, people I didn't know at all, come over, ask, do you need anything, do you need help, we have an axe, you can use it if you need to split some wood, blah, 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 or come over and ask for help. More often than not, if I'm on the side of the road, it's someone our age that will stop and pick me up and ask me where I need to go if I'm walking somewhere, as opposed to someone who's older from the generation previous.
I gotta say, I feel as though that we have had different experiences with that. When I have gotten help, it's normally been from earlier generations. I'm not gonna lie, there was a 75-year-old woman that pulled over and, stopped her car on the side of the road and asked me if I needed help changing my tires. I'm like, honey, no, you just keep going. I'm okay. I appreciate it, but keep going.
While there is a link between the two of them, personally, I prefer individualism.
For what reasons?
I don't trust people to know what's best for me. There are very few times I trust somebody else to know what's best for my life. So I lean very heavily on individualism.
Don't get me wrong, I know you pretty well, and I know that if you need to do something, you'll get it done, but, if you need help with something, you'll ask others for help when you really need it, too.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, I was the one that helped you move in here, too.
Yeah, it's situational.
Right.
But by and large, I tend towards individualism. That's why I'm starting a company by myself.
No, I understand that. I think you and I are taking two different views on this, though. Like, not, where we're ending up, but I think where we're starting off is in two totally different places.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm thinking of it as on a macro scale, like seeing everything. And I think you're thinking of it as a micro scale where it's like you and the group, like you in a small group, versus where I'm thinking of, like...
Well, I'm thinking of, city planning, running a country as well. I think it's easier to dissect when you do look at it as the micro. There are things that I think you do need macro collectivism.
I think on a macro scale, nothing really works individually, because by definition, there is no individual.
No. Military. You have to look at that as macro. You have to look at that as collectivism.
Right. Any sports, same thing. You're not... I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. I know a lot of people worship specific sportsmen,
Yeah, but they're a cog in a machine. There are
Exactly.
very few individual sports, like swimming. Most sports are as a team, as a group.
And even then, Michael Phelps won a medal for his relay.
There are cases, I believe, that collectivism is not only preferred, but ideal. But by and large, I think it's individualism that trumps it.
I think if you look at it, whereas just in a sense that everything in a system works efficiently or effectively, you need a certain amount of both. I think it's intermingled, whereas the individual has to start working at a certain range of efficiency before the collective group can work or function properly.
Oh yeah.
So I don't think one or the other is really a trump card, but I think if more people function in an individualistic fashion, that the collective can, and long enough and severe enough, will fail.
Yeah, well, it depends on what the individual goals are versus the collective goals as well. Now, if all the individuals have the same end game as the collective,
then it'll function fine.
it'll
But
function perfect.
if you think about it that way, then it's not real individualism. That's individuals fueling the collective, so that's more of a collectivism anyway. Because if your individualism includes having a prolific collective,
what if let's say everyone has the same goal, but there's no thought of the collective. You're doing it for all individual gain. But you're all going in the same direction.
It depends on what the goal is and how it relates to the group, the collective. I feel like we're still in Star Trek when we're talking about the Borg.
So, thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate you coming out, and I really appreciate you spending the time with me. And there is a big special thanks to Big Red here for helping me with this last couple set of questions.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks. Please let me know what you think in the comment section below about today's question. There are so many different variables to these questions that there is no way that we covered them all, and I would love to see your perspective. What is your point of view on this?
How about your own questions to those questions too? Anything that we missed or anything like that?
Oh yeah, there's something that there's bound to be.
Obviously, there's stuff we missed.
Tons of things that we just didn't even consider, or things that I had to edit out for reasons.
Like you laughing left, right, and center.
Oh yeah. Or just going down a rabbit hole completely left wing.
Or that radiator.
Or the radiator popping and clicking.
That radiator does not like
I
us.
can't wait to get out of this apartment.
I can't blame you.
I said this in the beginning, but if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that button. And if you like this, please drop a like. It really does help the channel out a lot. It helps me out, helps me grow. It helps me be able to bring you better content in the future.
Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Big Red. And hey, if you want to see more of me,
yeah, let me know. Let me know if you want to see, me have more discussions with them down in the comment section below, or any of my other guests. And as always, guys, I do this in the morning to help you be thoughtful throughout the day. Enjoy.